Sure is pretty out here. Where we woke up today, our favorite spots. Jamie showed us to. Kind of waiting around this morning for a phone call. And I realized, well, even if I do miss the call because I'm out of signal, she's got my email. She's already responded by email. Nebraska done messed up. How you doing, Lily? Sure is pretty here, isn't it? Yeah, something happened here. You see it too, huh? A little bit of erosion since then, but yeah, this is really nice. I'd like to get down in there. You can. There ain't nobody stopping me. I've seen people down in there walking around,
I'm
coming
sure.
up out of the cliffs and shit. Huh?
I'm sure there are some fascinating things down there somewhere.
Oh yeah. I see trails going down throughout there all over the place where people have been walking for years. I just don't want to mess around down there. It's nice. It's beautiful to look at. I know who made it. I see caves around there. Those caves don't look accessible because they're within fence lines and stuff like that going on. I mean, everything real interesting here has
So
already
populated.
been sterilized and or covered up. So, but it's fucking amazing. It's beautiful.
How it looks tells its own little tale too.
This is.
All of it is dust. See?
Mm-hmm.
That tells its own story.
So yesterday in the bottom kitchen drawer, yeah, that's the VIN number that used to go here in the window. It matches the one on the frame, funny enough. This became a question in 16 and 19 in Nebraska. And Florida solved it. There's a nationwide alert, just like there is on my vehicle right now, because Nebraska issued a title with the wrong VIN number for this vehicle. And the national alert put a stop to it, said, no, 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 no. Well, no one, they made changes, but obviously wrong. So there's a good chance I'm going to have to jet back up to Nebraska and have them fucking physically look at this vehicle so they can write me a title. Because as of now, this vehicle has no title legally. So I'm on a temp tag till November. I'm like, what the fuck, man?
To have a title for the
I've gone
existing
through
vehicle for
fucking
November.
1,200 fucking dollars. I've got 200 of my dollars left. I'm like looking at a 700-mile, almost 800 getting back to Casper. I'm definitely going to have to borrow some money from the boss lady to get our ass back. But I'm hoping to find out that this lady's going to be able to do this and mail it to me because I'm getting heartburn over this shit. It's been weeks of trying to get this thing legal, and come to find out it's absolutely Nebraska's fault. I'm like, what the fuck? It is the fucking universe telling me, maybe you should have just stayed in Casper, made a few more dollars. But I mean, no, I don't know what it is, because it ain't that. It's like, I tagged this thing in Casper. That red flag didn't show up because I didn't try to title the thing. But had the universe wanted me to stay there, it would have flagged it then, because I would have been like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. No, I got that because I had 700 fucking miles to travel down to La Junta, 500 to get to La Junta. The only place I could fucking try to license this thing. And then ding ding, this shows up. My main worry was, where's my VIN number? First off, that's a valid question. Found that on the frame after a couple of weeks of looking exactly where the police told me to look. Looking exactly where fucking Google told me to look. And I called Fleetwood and they were like, we didn't even do that frame. That was by Oshkosh. They gave me their number. That dude told me exactly where to look, and bing, there it is. Beautiful, pristine. Took pictures, sent it to Nebraska, and they were like, no. Nah, they had sent me a fucking thing talking about Florida, and I was like, so I sent them pictures of my VIN number. And then yesterday I sent them a picture of the damn tag. I says, look, man, obviously nobody ever did this in Nebraska in 19 when it was requested by the national fucking database. So Florida did it. They sent me a fucking email the day before showing me where they did it. And I was like, well, this is not a Florida problem. And then the lady agreed at the state level, so she's talking to the lady at the county level today. And I'm all like, who had tried to fix it on Thursday, but the lady at the state level stopped her and sent me that email that the RV was in Florida. And I'm like, no, it's not. This RV is not a Florida RV. It hasn't been to Florida. It isn't going to be in Florida anytime soon. Maybe this fall, depending on how things play out here. I don't know. I'm looking at a fucking... There's going to be a clusterfuck today. I'm just... Yeah. Things aren't going to de-escalate, and they keep escalating a little bit quicker than I'd anticipated. I know I gave it 2 weeks, but I'm just saying, it's like, work. I don't know what's going to happen in the next few days, but I don't expect anything to de-escalate. I'm expecting an absolute clusterfuck from today. The European leaders are coming with Zelensky. I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. There's fucking hurricanes and earthquakes everywhere. Everyone's worried about this category 4. And then they're like, oh, it's going to be double in size by Wednesday. And I'm like, yeah, you're surprised? I warned y'all last week that the 4 winds that I told you weren't going to move, they didn't move for 3.5 years. I came out last week talking about, well, we're so close now to this passing that I'm fully expecting the four winds to start shifting around and really fuck with the weather patterns. Like up and down like a jackhammer, eventually. And that began 2 days ago. Last week. I mean, this weekend. I'm just going off of my observations of the sky and understanding what's coming in, because I mean I researched it, I found it, I proved they exist. The red and the blue are both here. I spoke with a senator that I used to advise about it. He said, yeah, here's a bunker. I said, no. He's like, nah, you'll be safe because everybody will be dead. Nobody's going to be able to hang your boy. And I'm like, man, you just made it worse. So here we are. I have that kind of knowing about this situation. It kind of puts a framework on what our government's doing in a little bit more reality space in my head, because I know this isn't going to de-escalate. There's no way they can, and keep their bunkers safe. That's priority one with your elites. They've got so much control, it's sad. Look around. The country's more divided because they have the control. They have the ability to divide us like that. It's crazy. It's called core curriculum. Nobody can figure anything out. There's also another factor in the human genome that attacks your memory as it fucking lays down. Most humans have it. Apparently, I am not afflicted with this thing. Because I remember Donald Trump as a child in the WWE days. I remember the 80s, the billionaire philanthropist flying around the world with little teenage girls on his yachts. I remember those things in real time when they happened. That's why it surprises me when people come out with all these things I've watched my whole life acting like it's some kind of expose that needs to be newsworthy. Well, nobody knew about. What do you mean nobody knew about this? I knew about this. I remembered it. I remember all these little tiny fucking details from stupid shit. I have too much useless information floating around in my head. Even contemplate I got that gene. It's crazy. It ain't brilliance, it's memory. It's deduction off of understanding what situation we're literally in. How would I be able to predict the quakes would go from like a bunch of fours, maybe a five every now and again, to multiple fives and sixes and sevens, and then that eights creeping in years before it began? How would I tell you the four winds are fucking going to sit there? Because I understood what they are. I understood the makeup of what's going on. I made educated deductions on the grain numbers to hit the days that I've hit, and to explain the moves the government's going to make in the future. So dead on, because I used to advise those senators. I used to advise the politicians. I know how they work. I know the plan. It isn't prophecy. It's just obvious what's going on. Hi, I'm Captain Fucking Obvious. My name is Eric Sebastian Briggs. I authored the Davis Hemp Bill. Your dogs actually benefit from my legislation. I'm a traceable human being. This isn't guesswork here. I have an awful lot of informative videos on my post section of this channel that if you're new, you really owe it to yourself to look at. My deepest critics come back accusing me of being CIA because nobody's as accurate as I am. Well, I just explained why I've been so accurate. I was told the plan. Everything else has just been fucking deduction from understanding why the plan exists. Because we live in a multiple sun system and they knew it good and damn well since Constantine changed. They fear us loving each other, for God's sake. That's crazy, but it's true. All three of them have the same. It's time for a nap. It's doggy nap time. Hi, Christy. Good morning. It is a beautiful view. I got quite a panorama. How you doing, kid?
Good.
How about we burn a top shelf? You walk the dogs, and we start a mobility campaign towards the north
I refuse.
until we reach Judah's favorite tree.
I refuse.
Hang around doing flips with the moon. Seems to be the popular thing to do nowadays. It's the new normal as far as humanity goes. It's the only moon my son's ever recognized.
It's normal to me. But textbooks say otherwise.
How must that be? To be growing up under a cartwheeling moon and see every textbook on the planet talking about how it doesn't do that.
And it's right in front of your eyes, and it's just fucking cartwheeling.
That's good. You see, John, I've posted Homebrew's answer to Stuart and that other chick he does the same flipping moon with. It's like doo all time stamped and shit. I'm like, damn.
Reading a textbook. That's a monthly cycle. Wax away. There's a fucking cartwheel in
I
the
tell
sky.
people it's not
What
really
your
that
face is
difficult.
this?
Fuck, man. I just this morning I'm sitting there on my Facebook page and somebody had posted something about the black moon. It's rare, only in 33 years or some shit. And I'm like, Are you fucking kidding me? It's that new moon goddamn fucking post again. And I'm like, why are you even on my friend list? I scrolled down a couple of days, even looking at just every damn stupid thing I could find on Facebook right there in one place. And nothing of truth. It's all confusion and stupid shit. And I'm like, what the? Why did you even ask to be on my fucking page? I don't get it. I tell people I was, and I prove beyond just telling, I mean, who I am. Senator Jim Davis is top senatorial investigator and advisor out of fucking North Carolina for several years. My work stands alone. First unanimous decision in North Carolina's entire legislature history against the federally implemented core curriculum because of an angry parent's fucking comparison from side by side curriculums. And it's like, damn. I proved beyond the shadow of a doubt, obviously, first unanimous decision, that the federal government was trying to dumb down our children by a factor of 1,000 on purpose and take away critical thought. Every single one of them agreed. I was like, damn, okay. And all of them wanted me to fucking do work for them. And I did work for them for fucking 3 years. And I told Davis after fucking writing the hemp bill that forced federal legalization of fucking CBD flower. I says, we're fucking, our moon's doing this number, dude. And it shouldn't be. And fucking the polar vortex is turning the wrong way on the north hemisphere. It's a sustained storm. It keeps getting bigger. I think that's actually the magnet signature of a sun that tilted us on our side that's getting closer. And then they stopped me. They're like, yep, want a bunker? Everybody's going to die to protect your son in it so that you can't go in and break in and lynch him and steal his food. And I didn't agree with that message, so here I am warning you. So you can take it as you want. I've offered you information on the post section of my channel to not only survive but thrive through this. And you might want to start doing your homework because my math says you ain't got much fucking time. Yeah, everybody's talking about these smart cities they want to build too. You want to talk about some fucking misdirection. Like, fuck, cities were built to be smart in the beginning. What city, like Winslow or fucking LA, what city is there not a convenience store, a grocery store, a school, fucking within 15 minutes travel from your home? Ding, ding. And everybody's all running around worried that they're going to fucking be building these fucking smart cities. And I'm like, you're living in one. Everybody that's in a city is living in a smart city, by definition. What are you fucking trying to prevent? It's that kind of level misdirection that just fucking stuns me. It's absolutely insane. Every now and again, you see Facebook light up with shit like that. I lose several fucking friends because I go onto their page and unfriend them for being so dumb and posting shit like that. I mean, if Captain Obvious got to point it out to you, you don't belong on my list. You're not doing your homework. You're not even fucking thinking. You're just social butterflying over there and fucking posting up shit that everybody else is posting up, so you're not out of the fucking social loop. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? It just shows the character of society. And it's sad. Nobody, one, can either think for themselves, or two, if they do, they're afraid to fucking speak out because they'll lose a friend. I kick people in the teeth and then unfriend them for being that dumb. I don't want them posting that shit on my feed. If I wanted it, I would post it on my own feed. I don't need to see that shit. It's stupid and it's misleading. Chemtrails. Are you kidding me? What are you trying to prove? Hey, Polly, how you doing this morning? Good to see you. Don't you be posting up about the black moon, girl. Oh. Or the smart cities. You live in a smart city. Well, everybody does. Cities were designed to be convenient. I'm not sure what y'all are trying to prevent. Lynn don't live in no smart city. Well, everything is still within 15 minutes of you, is all I'm saying. By definition, that's the smart city they're trying to prevent. You have a roundabout? Oh, yeah, I don't even want to visit your city. I've been looking at it, Christy. It's, that is just as obvious as everything I've complained about this morning. I've been complaining about people not looking at the moon thinking I'm crazy and fucking idiots going out of their way to lay down on their back with fucking cardboard posts of the fucking moon instead of actual footage of it, trying to convince people that a goddamn U.S. Navy trained, helmsman qualified fucking individual is looking at the moon wrong because I'm not laying on my back. I have to express once again, if ever on the USS Texas, CGN 39, or the USS Arkansas, CGN 41, I had ever laid upon my back to take a reading of the stars, I would have been promptly and swiftly thrown overboard as trash. Because that is just not how you fucking do it. And you also don't use printed pictures of the moon to get an orientation off the craters. You actually got to look at the goddamn moon in comparison with your horizon. Now, here's the thing. Even if you're in your backyard and you're laying down there and your moon's traversing across like Lee's cutouts, you'll clearly see that motherfucker's still doing a goddamn cartwheel. I don't care what direction you're facing. In accordance from rise on the horizon to set on the opposite horizon, you'll see that's different. 180 degrees. I don't care if you're standing on your head. You're going to notice it, in fact, does look different at rise and set. 180 degrees, wax to wane. It rolls 180 degrees every night, whether you're standing on your fucking head holding your breath or you're standing there like a true sailor taking a bearing on it, on your 2 feet. You're still going to notice that fucking thing is doing a 180 degree cartwheel if you simply watch it. And if there was ever a debate between two people, it is or it isn't, on something that's visible to every human being on the planet except the people that are literally fucking blind, then I would look. I don't know. Kind of ends the debate. One of them's either fucking crazy or one of them's a liar. Well, if you observe, you can tell who the liar is, because I'm not crazy. Well, I might be, but I'm right. The goddamn moon's doing a fucking cartwheel from every night. And that was the first indication that something was off. Because we tilted on our axis to make that happen. You can't make the fucking shadow and craters roll in unison if it's the moon, the ball, doing the fucking rolling. It's obviously the observer. That's us. And that can be easily done by a working model of you spinning next to a table. Now bend over and touch your toes. Yeah, we never changed the direction, but we changed the orientation. It's that simple. That's why the fucking Milky Way no longer travels across the sky. It goes doo-doo-doo-doo in a cartwheel with Orion and the fucking man in the moon. I mean, I've been harping on the moon for so long because it's so easily identified. A lot of people, if you can't understand your moon, you're not going to understand dots in space. We call constellations. Most people don't even know how to find those. How do you find the Big Dipper? How do you find Polaris? You gotta find the Big Dipper. Big Dipper points right at Polaris. Through the outside fucking stars on the cup. They'll tell you you need to study it. Maybe they need to simply just look at it. Wax and wane. Throw a calendar at them. Say, which day is it now? Again? Because I see Wayne over here on this side talking about the 19th, but I see Wax over here talking about the 3rd. So, is it the 3rd and the 19th today? I don't know. Tell me, motherfucker. We set the calendar to the moon doing certain things, and that included rising Wax until full, and then going wane. Now it's, see difference? Again, let's do it again. That's not like Wax to wane, rise and set. See, it's a problem. It's really obvious to someone who was helmsman qualified and taught how to rise north and south on the planet by the angle of that moon. Because that moon's telling me I'm going from north to south every night. That simple. I was like, holy shit. So it took me about 5 minutes to figure out why. I started panicking. I did. Yeah, 13-month calendar. We found the turtle dude too. Well, at least we figured out the secret to Turtle Island that nobody's talking about. including the Arizona State University, who understands very fully that we built everything you're looking at today. University of Arizona is very fucking familiar. We built the fucking spires and the mesas, and they generate electricity, and all this shit was destroyed. But it's still working. It's still generating electricity. And they send their students out monitoring it all over the goddamn desert. And they've, of course, found the fucking live pools. They've found the fucking Six Flags fucking theme parks. They've turned them upside down in Hopolovy and the other places we've gone to, just so people can't see them. They understand very fully well that we are not the fucking most advanced civilization on this planet, and they keep it hidden from their own students that come out here and do their damn work. I confronted them personally on it, and they didn't hesitate. They said, we know, we just can't talk about it. Because I was thinking, you know, all right, fine, I'll get them to challenge me and then come out and show them, and then I'll get a Nobel Prize. Fuck no. They knew somebody already discovered this shit long time before I came along. Again, I ain't doing nobody no fucking brand new fucking information that's already out there. People are just hiding it all over the place. The Native Americans, of course, because the fucking Catholic Church came through trying to murder the information out of them. That's why some of the wisdom holders have the wisdom and they haven't given it to the people, because it endangers their own people. That's what they have to lose, not their funding. Arizona University has funding to lose, so they can't talk about it. I'm like, well, that's not quite as honorable as a wisdom holder, but, you know, fuck off. Start telling some truth. It didn't end well. You know me. I have no filter when it comes to fucking bullshit. I just don't. So, like I said, the conversation didn't end well. I was like, you're fucking kidding me. Fucking, that's bullshit.
They're supposed to be funded by your students.
They're hiding amazement. I mean, just, dude, it was so amazing to me. What? Remember Utah? Utah.
I mean,
I'm
imagine
sitting
if
here,
they had
and
actually believed.
I got physically ill at Mike and Cheyenne's when we were fucking, and then I looked at the mountains. I was like, did we build those? We drive, and then what I do in Utah, I threw up twice that day.
Yeah, you've got to imagine
Okay.
what would have been look like.
It's that amazing. It's that amazing what we've done and built for these people, and they destroyed it. It's that amazing that it fucking overwhelmed me mentally a couple of times just fucking seeing that shit. Why are they hiding that level of amazement? Well, I understand why, but
Imagine what.
why would a human being be fucking willing to sell out humanity at that point? Because, I mean, the lady on the phone said, didn't even hesitate. She's like, we know.
We just can't talk about it.
Most of these wisdom holders I've spoken to never gave me a reason, but I figured out why. I mean, it's that obvious, for God's sake. But they didn't hesitate to tell me that we don't even give that information to our own tribes. Where'd you get it? I did my fucking homework, because that information's out there. That information is very, go looking for the information in the original God's language of the cuneiform, the language of the gods. They will tell you what happened regionally on the planet, and it had nothing to do with really Mesopotamia so much. Yeah, see, they paid off. They given comfortable shit. They given a jacuzzi like Susie, you know. But you saw what happened to her. Fuck's sake, man. Karma's a bitch.
Just imagine where we'd be in if they did hide it.
How much of the truth do they know? Do they know about the soul recycling machines that we're trying to sniff out at this moment? 'Cause that's the only purpose I can imagine being here in this time. They may call it an ark, but I know what the fuck it is if it's 5 miles deep. I've been shown that. It's in an Anunnaki temple. All gold and trying to emulate mothers. There's some humor in this. It's kind of funny how arrogant these. Look how arrogant they are. Look at everything we built for them. And then they destroyed it because they didn't want us to know they actually had to move in. They're not so godly. They done destroyed their own planet to the point that they had to move in. They couldn't fucking grow worse every time they passed by. I'm like, well, obviously, your planet's got a weak magnet because your planet depends on your magnet to strengthen its. That's symbiosis. That's the same thing here that scared them about us, which directly tells me they don't realize that in themselves, and I'm uncertain why, because they're very smart. Obviously, their mentality has been steered in another direction. I don't, without having actual communication with one, I would not know. So it's hard for me to guess. I've just met a lot of people with a lot of pieces missing, and throwing those pieces in a puzzle makes everything fit, and it makes them secure. It helps them in their life. And that's all I want for these people, because obviously they've been misdirected since the Enuma Elise. And they were talking about how they were fucking killing each other on their own planet down at Six Base Pair. They had to split it north and south, marry one another, and blah, blah, blah. The whole fucking royal lineage, what they spread here and handed down the kingship and fucking priesthoods from planet heaven. Anu did. And it's still going on today. And we're fighting over who can please this God the most, is Muslim, Christian, or Jew. It's insane. The turtle god, the storm god, Yahweh, aka Enlil, the flipper dude. Mr. 13-month calendar, who cut and slashed and burned that which he could not drown after breaking the fucking levees and tilting the planet with the fucking moon with his brother, according to every indigenous, and the fucking cuneiform itself, motherfucking Noah's lips. I didn't make this shit up. I just found that it exists in the language of the gods. The first language, the cuneiform. That's not the first language that they like to think it is. They gave us many languages after that, Akkadian and Hebrew. And branched it off from all that shit. Now look at us. We're spitting all kinds of languages out. They wanted us very much to train our children that our language is futile at infancy because they're born with it. Inability to communicate with the entire fucking universe, except for the most important people, the ones taking care of them. And they scream because no one's listening. If we used our language that we were born with, we would know instantaneously, before the child got to that level of agitation, what it was thinking, what it wanted. Its heart's desire would become clear to us. If we just embrace what the hell we're supposed to be and stop training them that our old language is futile. They'll grow up nurtured in it and do amazing things. Yeah, to think that they're the only alien race would be folly. No. Yeah, we've been extremely lied to. We live in a forest of life.
I mean, where did the tribes that
I've
from
met.
the mist come from?
Thank you. As my son was stating, we've met several tribes that and are able to stay here because without soul sucking like the Anunnaki do. You come here in a machine, it doesn't. It's not. That's not working with the way the design is. You come here in a straight heart with a fucking community in a love circle and do it right. You can come here in a mist and form inside this frequency and have your human on nice and tight. Yeah, that's why I started over. I saw it circle of death over here. You want to walk the dogs?
Yeah.
I'm still smoking this. Cheers, everybody. Lots of Cherenkov and pressure on the ionosphere this morning. I'm sure there's plenty of ionospheric interference between the satellites and us, because, yeah, on both sides. Expect mass power outages and communication drops.
I'm sure it's just going to get thicker throughout the day.
Mm-hmm. All the major Europers are over there in the White House today. Russia's bombing Ukraine.
Yay!
I'm expecting complete folly out of this powers. I guess we'll see when we see the folly out. I just wonder how. I'm more curious about watching the people's body language and shit. Because I really, myself, what I took away from that Putin Trump thing is Putin laid some shit on Trump. And I don't know how much of it Trump was actually taking that shit personal at some point. I think he got caught up in the fucking hype. And Putin's fucking reminded him about the safety in his bunkers at jeopardy. Because that's the kind of attitude I was looking at Donnie after their meeting. And I'm like, oh, damn, somebody got schooled on something. Look at that boy. So, I don't know. I might be wrong. I was feeling some intent of fucking intense emotion inside that man. Turmoil. And rather grievance, acceptance of the things that I rejected. You gonna walk your dogs this week? I don't know. Root gearing up.
It's cold.
What do you think, Chico?
Look at Kiff. Look at this fucking plushie.
Oh shit, he's dream plushie. Using his nose a lot. Kind of funny. Watching old Kifferton dream. Wonder what he dreams about. With his nose. But he must see other dogs barking. Pretty busy. Distracted by flies. He's a weird dog. Hi, Star. Welcome to the adventure. Ash is falling on him at work. That's interesting, Christy. Yeah, Ben David's a lawyer. That guy. NASA spokesman. Ben Davidson. That gets away with bad mouthing his employer online openly every day. Horrible manner. Yet. That guy? Well, that is. Thank you for doing your. That is just an example of what the government does with our tax dollars and how much they're willing to spend on, like, misinforming the public, misdirecting the public in the forms and guise of a truth teller, or some rebel out there trying to tell you something the government, and they give you all this bullshit. It's like, oh my god, nobody's out there actually trying to help anybody. Well, any of those big ones I've mentioned. I see a lot of people talking about you ain't going to make it through 2026. I mean, I literally went up at Lily. Yeah, you were there. Everybody was there. So let's roll up on the Lakota. And I went in and had a very long, um, 9 hour. It wasn't very. It passed quickly, but it was a 9 hour meeting with them and their council and their wisdom holder, and they walked me through their 2015 prophecy of humanity will not pass 2025 if they do not have this information, and it's time to proliferate it to everyone. And that's their prophecy. That's the Lakota Sioux prophecy of the prophecy wheel of 2015. And I was like, well, fuck. That's kind of what I've been telling people. I, you know. And they declared that the Hopi and the Lakota prophecies are walking hand in hand. They looked at the fucking tablets, snakeheads, and the turtle flippers and everything. It's the snakeheads. They're the tablets that were written about. It isn't some missing piece to some missing tablet or some shit. It's exactly what we've come across here over the last 3 years on the road, beginning in Hastings, Michigan, ending up in Oklahoma, right after handing the Hastings, Michigan head to the head wisdom holder culture specialist of the tribe, and having her hand it back and say, go proliferate the knowledge of this high and far. And we have. And what, 60 some miles later or some shit, we blew out the fucking hood window and had to stop and found tablet number 2 with the matching Enuma Elise on it, just so small that you really got to look at it. But the detail being in the fact that both of them have the same trinitite explosive exposure to nuclear blast from the Michigan site all across them. Found where we found them, on the Trail of Tears, somebody heading this way from Oklahoma. I want to find whose fucking snakehead that is, because that's something that's been like, somebody's got a story to go with that little head, and it needs to be told. That's just, that's where I'm at with it. But that apparently, I mean, that's the last time I let any of y'all motherfuckers start talking about any of the prophecy. I don't know what happens after that. But I remember it was a couple of days after finding that head, everybody was talking about, oh, it's the head. I'm like, oh, damn, dude. So there's that, and Lakota definitely recognized it as soon as I showed them, because they walked me through their prophecy. They were like, okay. And then talked about how it's walking hand in hand, because that's the message I was giving them. You got information and you need to share it with your people, because now is the time. And that is their fucking prophecy in a shortcut. They have a long version of it and a timeline that goes with it, that I in no way mean to disrespect. I'm just saying, in a short manner, my message lines up with theirs. And ours has a long timeline and storyline to it, too. It just, we cover that daily. It began in 2014 when I stood down. 2010, I was just terrified. I understood we were on our side, didn't know why. I was in the fucking San Fernando Valley and didn't belong there. Couldn't figure out how I was still there. And I had a 6-year-old inside. I was on my knees crying. On my birthday, 2011, 1 year later, we crossed into this state from California on our way to North Carolina. 6 months later, I was working for Davis and a couple other senators. The induction heating, I've been warning about that heating up the mantle and shit for a long time, and it's obviously becoming noticeable at this point. The shakes, the quakes, the volcanoes. Fuck, I'm loving the hurricanes. Everybody's tripping out. Oh, you can't get that in nature. Yeah, you can. Well, I like to tell people that if you want to give credence to that Navy map that everybody passes around, you have to keep in mind that is a static map. Imagine what had to occur to make that map possible and put the water everywhere else. It's fixing to get crazy. So, yeah, because I have a lot of people coming. What's the safest place? The only safe place you got is the frequency in your own soul magnet, in your heart, in your magnetic frequency itself. And that is obtained through that sac around your heart that contains your memories and your emotions. I wouldn't imagine for my life of me why someone would want to attack that. You might want to ask Constantine. I refer you to Revelations. They'll tell you exactly why. And it's exactly what I just said. That's your interface between your soul and your body, and it regulates your frequency of your damn magnet. The only safe place is in your frequency of your magnet. How you gonna regulate that shit? How you gonna talk to the creation and the creator if that's fucked? You're gonna have to start some healing and some embracing of what you are, because mom can fix that. Creator can fix that. But that requires you to use your other brain and start doing your homework. Yeah, nice, Glenn. Nice, Glenn. That's cool. I'm glad to hear your chicken, your rooster's working. But yeah, keep in mind that Navy map is a static map. That means that water isn't moving. It's like on the coastlines now. But if you plan to buy property around the area, just to have oceanfront property, good luck with that in the near future. Your property's going to wash away with most of the rest of the properties. And anything that doesn't wash away is going to be zapped away by that cord that will be struck. Now, all three suns are coming together for an event called perihelia, which, as you can tell cyclically, causes a nova event, which is basically the spring back of the suns, the bounce of the magnet and the acceleration away from each other. Um, in reaction in a plasmatic manner that we can't be in the middle of. So we're fixing to roll behind this big ass sun, the biggest one, the so-called lord of this fucking solar system, Ra, father of Isis, aka Earth, our first sun. You have an ultraviolet sensitive sun sneaking up on your ass. You have an ultraviolet sensitive organ, your pineal gland, which is hooked up to your ocular nerves. There is one reason I can imagine that you would have an ultraviolet sensitive organ shaped in the same magnetic signature of that ultraviolet sun sneaking up on your ass, hooked up to your ocular nerves, as if you were actually designed to see that sun. Wonder why they were calcifying it. See the misdirection here? They were calcifying it so you can't see Ra. You can only see the effects of the light that he emits. You have an ultraviolet sensitive fucking organ in your head. Why can't you see ultraviolet light? I know why. It sure as hell doesn't have anything with your ascension. It has everything to do with the fact that they knew good and damn well Ra was an ultraviolet blue spectrum, Kachina, aka sun. And they couldn't have you looking at them. Because they need you to wait until the great and terrible day of the Lord when this fucking Cherenkov radiation that you're witnessing with your own eyes is released by the magnets holding it in that are surrounding us, giving us that ionic pressure, putting the brakes on our spin, making scientists baffled and confused about why in the fuck is everything burning and the fucking spin's fucking up, and we're seeing rogue waves, king waves, tidal waves, fucking record this, record that, because we're tapping brakes. Because this is an orchestrated solar exchange between planets and suns that are very intelligent beings. And they know how to do it without killing all the stewards on purpose. The last time we went and created the Cretaceous boundary, when we landed in the void that it caused after the destruction in the Numa Elise that caused the asteroid belt, we fell into the void that it caused, aka Lagrange point, magnetic grip. We switched our sun to a completely opposing polarity, smaller energy sun, and we stopped spinning, flipped over, and spun the other way. Everything went sideways. We never slowed down before that happened. That's why we're seeing king waves, tidal waves, and people go into long stretches of why the Earth's rotation is speeding up and slowing down. Just like the tariffs. Misdirection. Your food's running out. Yeah, it's getting more expensive and it's getting rare. They needed to tariff it so you didn't understand that. They needed to lock you down 2 weeks before Wendy's couldn't sell beef in certain locations because the butcher got sick. To hide the fact that it was the grain that had caused humanitarianly kill off our food stock from chicken to cow to pig. Now everybody's eating soy. Hi Patrick, how you doing? Ra and Horus is fucking working it too. I mean, he's right behind our sun. A lot of people forget this because I never mentioned Horus, the angry red brother. He's the one that's going to discharge the Nova event. He is the reason our sun facing us is going black, because he's sucking the fucking plasma out of the other end that we can't see. What are the people eating now? You know, a bunch of GMO'd, fucking altered, chemically enhanced bullshit, I suppose. I try to consume as little as possible. Good to see you too, Patrick. Hey, excited. Good morning. It is a beautiful thing to wake up here. Meat is extremely expensive, and people are eating a lot of ramen. Hi, Tamalia. Good morning. Hope you're doing well on this beautiful Monday. But yeah, I agree. We only have a few million cow, and they're having trouble keeping up with the milk and the eggs. We're having to import it from everywhere. We're only 200 million people. you know. Well, that's good, Tamalia. I eat a lot of fish myself. I really couldn't care less if it's farm raised or wild caught. Either way, it's kind of fucked right now. Yeah, and vegan's very unhealthy unless you start pushing hemp as a staple of your vegan diet. You got to have hemp seed because it has all those proteins that your body needs. And amino acids and fatty acids and all that shit, everything the human body needs, literally. So you can fill it with any snack carrot you want. But nobody does it right. They all go fucking straight veggie and fucking soy, and it's like, haven't you learned from the last person that has IBS? That killed their fucking stomach from it, got sick trying to be a vegan. You need to actually research what you're looking at. If you're going to eat just plant matter, you might want to start with the one and only plant on this entire planet that I'm aware of. I believe the only one that science is aware of that will sustain, not only sustain, but thrive because it has more nutrients than your body needs. You might want to start with that as your main basis of your plant diet and then work with that as a base and then work around it because that's going to keep you healthy. It's going to keep your stomach healthy. It's going to keep your body healthy. It's going to keep your everything. So, I mean, it's a little bit expensive, but it should be not so expensive. Texas just tried to take it away. And funny, Governor Abbott, because of the veterans of his state, said, you know what? We're actually going to keep this. It has more benefit than deflection, and it's the synthetics in particular that the children seem to be getting sick from, which is the Delta 8 in particular. Because they'll use those Delta 8 pins and expect to get high like they're smoking a joint, and then it ends up getting them all dizzy and seasick. Now, are they dying from it? No. And you eat a cookie and go home. But they don't get high. It's kind of funny because you really don't get that high off of a Delta 8. Not like you smoke. I've already said it's different. It's not like smoking weed. But it helps my neuropathy. See, I'm not a child trying to get high off of this shit. So it benefits me. But I can care less if you got synthetic or not. Because the fact that the Delta 8 is infused to the THC in the hemp, that makes it THCA. So by de facto, I'm getting my Delta, all my Deltas I need right there. And it's a lot more comprehensive medication than the marijuana that I was like using for decades to my neuropathy and pain and swelling and all that shit. It works a lot better. for me. For me. I can speak out of personal use, not giving advice. But it's federally legal, the hemp plant. Not only is it federally legal, it is a federally protected crop. The police have no authority to take it from you. Only the FDA does. And if you so much as challenge it in court when you get your charge, they will drop the charges immediately because they have no grounds to fucking charge you. Now, I know a lot of people in it's a half and half thing in Casper because I'm watching it go down in real time out there with people coming in talking about their cases. They got slapped with a ticket, they paid it. They got slapped with a ticket, they fought it in court, and it was dropped. 50-50 going on right there in Casper. Let me educate you. Hemp is a federally protected crop. It's like a cop trying to arrest you for having a fucking goddamn cigarette. All right? And as long as you're out in the public in the fucking proper area or in your own home or sitting on your porch, you're just fine. You can't do it in a fucking restaurant, right? But it's a protected crop. They can't even take them from you. They cannot confiscate your cigarettes as contraband. That's what they're trying to do with the hemp. And if it's really hemp, stand your ground. You'll win. It's federally protected under the Farm Bill, which is the base reason for the federal government to actually exist in the first place with free interstate trade regulations. They regulate interstate trade, make sure it's all free trade between the states. They protect certain things. It is free trade in the states. And that is constitutional and the base of the fucking actual existence of the federal government. That's how much you stand to win if you stand your ground. You're going to win because it's a protected crop of the U.S. government under the Farm Bill, period. That's your argument. Boom. Give me my shit back and shove your ticket in your ass. Here, I'll wipe my butt with it and hand it to you because that's about all it's fucking worth. It's toilet paper with print. And they know that. They're very fucking aware of that. They're just playing the game with your fucking money and with your fucking lives because they're meant to divide us. That system is set to divide and to take as much from you as you can because they know most of you ain't going to stand up for your rights because you don't know them. And then you got to hire an attorney at thousands of dollars to tell you your rights. You should do your homework. That's the reason I know my rights. I had to do my homework. I hired a lawyer to fight for my baby, and he got a restraining order against me. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I couldn't get around Seamus. And they gave him back to the mom, who had fucking, long story there. But anyway, so I fired my attorney. I went in with my evidence, and I produced my evidence in a clean, present manner, and I left out of there with full custody of Seamus. I had already had him because mom had done exactly what I had said she would do, and ended up, she gave him back to me before court because there was other things going on in her life. So it wasn't that difficult. But the whole time I had him, there was a restraining order against me, so I had to be in a fucking court quick. And I put in an emergency order and got in there within a week and won custody. That's all I got. I started studying law. Fucking 6 months later, I got notification that the fucking county wanted to challenge my fucking authority again over Seamus. I had to go to court again. And that happened 12 times in 6 years. I had DSS at my house 13 times, inspecting my home, to the point that the sheriff actually himself would be like, bye, ladies. The only person that could take Seamus, because DSS can't. He'd drop him off at the house and leave. Be like, I'm not taking the child. I've been here too many times. This is ridiculous. Other state agencies started offering to help me sue him if they didn't stop. The actual head of the county of DSS came to my house the next day, sitting there talking to me and fucking telling me how Seamus got to be my center of my attention. And he had been trying to get her attention for about 20 minutes while she's sitting there berating me with his little magna doodle writing on it. And when she looked at it, she couldn't believe what she saw. She thought I did it. For a second in her own head, I saw it in her eyes. Because she looked right at me. And then she realized there's no way this motherfucker just wrote on the magna doodle. She looks at the magna doodle again. And then at Seamus. And then looks at me and says, how old is he? I said, lady, you're telling me you're sitting here with a whole file and you're fucking berating me and you don't know? So he's 2.5. And she literally, like, springboarded up off of my couch, threw her hand out in front of her, and said, sir, I am so sorry to have bothered you. I am in the wrong house. He was 2.5, writing, hi, lady, hi, hello, on his magna doodle. And underlining it. I go, oh. She left. I never seen DSS again. God damn it. Do your homework. and do for your children. Man, don't give them a fucking reason. That's why I learned law. That's literally how I got my start in understanding how the law works, looking at the laws, studying the laws, understanding precedents, understanding fucking case law, understanding law. That's how I began, out of self-defense for my child. Funny enough, as a single father, single moms think they got it tough. That's, yeah. No, man. Not really. That system's built for that, specifically. Try to be a man and get some help around there. Yeah, it's tough. Just saying my experience was different than most females that I've witnessed in that system. And it's designed very much to divorce the family. They give the woman the food stamps and the money, the Section 8 housing, everything the man provides. And then they tell them, if you contact your man or if we get you hanging with your man, you're going to lose your benefits, which is what they do. They yank them right out from under you, which divorces the family, effectively. Now, in some cases, it's a good thing, but that would be like an abusive kind of thing or a bad situation for the child. But in most cases, it's a matter of convenience for the woman, to be honest. I'm, again, witnessing that they might get bored or tired with their fucking homeboy or the dad. They hooked up with somebody else. Now they're fucking shacking up with them, getting their fucking food stamps on. And I'm all like, well, fuck. That's gotta be tough. Three kids with 3 dads. And living off of the dad and the state. And it's like, well, but leaving the one just because of the other. That's frivolous shit. life's a struggle. Once you make a fucking commitment with somebody, you might want to fucking hook it up and be committed to that child. I mean, personal experience is what I did. I divorced myself from any and everything except for Seamus. Yeah, control the mom with fear and carrots. It's always that dangly carrot. All these little carrots they use to divide us. And they do very well at dividing us. And, well, they understand they're very emotional creatures. They know how to make them fear. Yes, ma'am. Government's an expert at that. Hi, we're here to help. You know my reaction. Ryan, did you walk your dogs?
Yeah.
You did. I got to get going. Check the levels. So far, so good. You know the routine. We'll probably lose signal several times before we get where we're going. But this is how we do.
4 says the lawyer's first duty is for the courts and the public, and not the client.
Like a minefield of potholes right here. It's crazy. Just you're gonna hit 410.